went back to snowboarding. I went back to gymnastics. I went back to running. And it just never felt the same. Man, I don't know what to do with all this hair. I don't like my hair like this. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video, I had ankle surgery and I only have one ankle, so it's on my left ankle. If you guys have been following my other YouTube videos, or most importantly my Instagram, you'll know that I have sprained my ankle a couple times in the last year. Being an amputee for the last 2 years, well, almost 2 years, I have been putting a lot more pressure on my left foot because it's my only existing foot and I kind of take the force on that foot. But back in October, found out I can climb a rope. I took the fast way down. I just lost grip strength when I was climbing down the rope and landed completely, if this is my ankle, I landed completely sideways. Does that look like an ankle? I don't know. Went to the ER immediately and they did x-rays. Didn't see any signs of breaking, so they said, hey, just keep off it. When you feel comfortable, go back to things. So I went back to things. I went back to snowboarding. I went back to gymnastics. I went back to running. And it just never felt the same. And so I finally went to my doctor and said, hey, I think there's something wrong because I normally can balance on my left foot for hours and this is incredibly painful right now. Like I can't do anything. Like something as simple as getting up from the bathroom is painful on my one leg. So they did an MRI and turns out that I have a lot of problems. The main thing that I tore was my ATFL, ligaments attach bone to bone, tendons attach bone to muscle, but I tore a ligament completely severed. Based off your scans and based how your ankle's moving, the only thing holding your ankle together at this point is scar tissue. So I did all those activities with just scar tissue holding my ankle together. So that's cool. Originally had a surgery planned for April and I was going crazy, and so I said, hello, I'd very much like this ankle surgery moved up. My doctor is very kind and he pulled some strings and I got moved from end of April to February 9th. And went in, did my surgery. Took a couple clips when I was very high.
Oh, heck yeah.
When they were ready to discharge me from the PACU, they gave me a mask to put on my own face, but I always bring my stuffed animal that I got from the 6th grade to all my surgeries, and for whatever reason, I thought that they were giving the mask to him.
Damien is COVID friendly.
So I put the mask on him, and then they're like, Monica, we need you to wear a mask. I'm like, oh, can I have one? Originally thought surgery went well. About 20 hours later, I had this really strong throbbing in my calf, and my discharge paperwork said that's something to worry about. So I called the doctor and I was like, hey, it's probably nothing, but my calf's throbbing and it won't stop. So they told me to go to the ER because that could be a sign of a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis, which is basically just a blood clot as a result of surgery. They did an ultrasound machine on me and didn't find anything, and they said, hey, we just think your pain's a little out of control and your body's just not really registering it. We're gonna give you more drugs. Also, shout out to all the people that were nice enough to give me last minute rides to my surgery and to the ER. My boyfriend's family has been very helpful in that aspect, and my neighbor Bridget has also been very helpful. Kind of text her last minute and I'm like, hey, I am struggling. Anyways, they send me home with the drugs, and the next day I am in so much pain. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm elevating, and the day actually started out pretty good. I went to physical therapy and I learned to load my wheelchair into my car for the first time, which was a huge thing. But then I was just in so much pain. I called my boyfriend crying my eyes out, and I normally am pretty good with pain. So I was just like, this is 10 times more painful than my amputation surgery even was. And he's like, you need to go to the ER. My first response was, like, it's Madison's birthday and I'm gonna let her down. I was so sad, but he's like, babe, you need to go to the ER if you're in this much pain. So, went to the ER and they actually gave me a shot of Dilaudid, which is a more mild form of morphine, I found out. And it didn't even touch my pain. I was bawling my eyes out, and they ended up doing this nerve block, but they had to shoot it directly into my ankle to do it. That was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. That was over a 10 out of 10 pain. They literally had to have another nurse hold me down because I was in that much pain. They just decided at that point, hey, we need to get you on a better pain regimen, and that's it. So I was hospitalized overnight, just kind of hung out. They maintained my pain for the night, which honestly I'm so grateful for. And they released me, and since then I have prescription meds that are a little bit stronger than what they sent me home with initially. They put me on antibiotics as a precursor because my body likes to have infections and not show in my blood work. In my past, I've had osteomyelitis, cellulitis, and a staph infection, and they looked like this, and my white blood count was normal and I wasn't running a fever. So nobody believed me, and it took a lot of tests to figure out what was actually going on. So based off the pictures of the day that I was in the ER the second time, I really think that I was starting to develop cellulitis because there was a burning sensation, it was hot and red to the touch, and I was in a lot of pain. But they put me on antibiotics, and I've been on those, and honestly, the burning has stopped. So who knows if it was cellulitis, but it sure as heck felt like it. But as of yesterday, which is, what day is it? As of the 16th, I graduated out of my super janky splint into a walking boot. And I'm not actually really allowed to walk in it, so the name is very misleading. But he said I can put like 25% of my pain on it, but the important part is I can actually take it off and start working on ankle pumps and things of that sort. I get my stitches out on Monday because it's healing well, and hopefully I don't run into any other problems. I wouldn't even tell you what they did in my ankle. So they repaired the ATFL. They said there was significant synovitis throughout, which just meant my synovial joint was very red and inflamed. They put in an internal brace, which has 2 anchor points, and then they have this like tape over it. They said it kind of acts like a seat belt. So in the future, if I go to roll my ankle, because knowing me, I'm reckless, I'm going to, it'll act as a seat belt and keep my ATFL from rolling too far and snapping like before. That's good news, and this type of surgery is actually very expedited, where I'm supposed to actually be running again within 8 weeks. My surgery was February 9th, and 8 weeks from then is sometime in April. Hopefully you'll see me up and doing things again. So that's the plan. Just wanted to give you guys an update on my life. Also, in case you were wondering, my sweatshirt says save the chubby unicorns. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting my channel, and thanks for just showing up. But that's no problem. I don't have anything else for you guys. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.